Body fluids called jin ye in Chinese, composed of two characters, jin, meaning moist or saliva, and ye, meaning fluid. Jin indicates anything that is liquid, while ye indicates fluid of living organisms, those found in fruit, translated as organic fluids. Body fluids originate from food and drink. It is transformed and separated by spleen. Some clean fluids then go up from spleen to lungs, which spread from them to skin and send some of them down to kidneys. From spleen, some dirty fluids go down to small intestine, where they are separated again, this time into pure and impure. So this is how, so from the food, it goes to the stomach, and then when the food is already rotten, the spleen will transform it and then into gucci, transport to the lungs. And then the lungs will diffuse and then to the skin and the muscles. Then from the lungs, it descends to the kidneys, then to the bladder, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, this is pala origin from transformation and excretion of body fluids according to Chinese medicine. So the food goes to the stomach, and then the spleen will transform it into gucci, and then the pure will go to the lungs, and then the lungs diffuse it to the skin and muscles. And then the lungs will descend into the kidneys, and then the kidneys, from the kidneys to the bladder, and then the impure will go to the urine, and then the pure will go to the lower burner, the drainage, and then into the upper burner, and then goes back to the skin. I'm sorry po. Doc Heck, will you please help me? Okay.
Okay, let's take a look at the origin, transformation, and excretion of body fluids according to Chinese medicine. So if you look at the left side, we have the food. So this is the origin, the food and drinks. So at the stomach, the spleen will have to transform it into pure and impure. So the pure part will have to go to the lungs. And in the lungs, from the lungs, this pure chi will be diffused to the skin and muscles. So remember that the lung is a descending function. So this will descend the pure chi to the kidneys. And from the kidneys, it will go to the bladder. And again, in the bladder, you will have the kidneys, there will be a separation further. No? So there will be steam. And the pure part will have to go to the lungs to moisten it. And then the impure will proceed to the bladder. And further in the bladder, it will be separated into pure and impure. So the pure will have to go to the lungs once again via the triple burner, okay, to the skin and muscles rather. So it's from, so if when it reaches the bladder, there will be further separation of the pure from impure. So the pure will have to go up because pure is lighter, the impure is denser. So the impure will have to come out as urine. So the pure will have to rise up, to ascend via the lower burner, which is called the drainage ditch, the middle burner, the maceration chamber, then to the upper burner, the mist, to be sent to the skin and muscles. So going back to the spleen and stomach, the spleen will separate the pure from impure. So the impure will further go to the small intestine to be further separated into pure and impure. So the pure will have to go to the urine to be further separated into pure and impure. While the impure, of course, when you talk about the impure in the small intestine, you will be talking about the solid waste, no? So from the large intestine, some will have to be reabsorbed. Whatever is reabsorbed will have to be brought to the bladder. And so this time we have the feces as the solid waste.
Thank you po, Dr. Hector. Now let's continue. Following this second separation, pure fluids go to the bladder, impure fluids go to the large intestine, where some water is reabsorbed. Bladder further transforms and separates fluids. It receives into pure and impure. Pure fluids flow upwards, go to exterior of body where they form sweat. Impure fluids flow downwards and are transformed into urine. Bladder affects this transformation and separation from power of qi, which it receives from kidney yang. This function of bladder is called function of qi transformation. Fluids enter stomach and are separated. Pure part flows upwards from spleen to lungs, which direct them to water passages, and then downwards to bladder. Process of formation of body fluids is the result of intricate series of purification processes, each stage further separating fluids into pure and impure part. Pure fluids need to be transported upwards, impure fluids downwards. Correct movement of pure and impure fluids depends on correct ascending, descending, and entering, exiting of qi essential to their proper transformation. Okay? Organs that contribute to transformation, transportation, excretion of body fluids are the lungs, spleen, and kidneys. Pure fluids flow upwards to lungs, which distribute some to space under skin, some downwards to kidneys. For this reason, lungs are called upper source of water. Impure fluids flow downwards to small intestine and bladder, which carries out further separation and transformation. Bladder function. Bladder function of qi transformation is controlled by kidney yang, hence kidneys are lower source of water.
So actually this one is just a schema or the flow chart which you have just discussed, no? So I think we will leave this to the students to take a look later on.